Live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Good morning, viewers, from wherever you're watching us from. It's good to be back on this morning platform after a short break, or should I say a long break?
What short break? You've been gone like 1 year and you're talking about short break. Oh, it felt
Really?
like 1 year.
It felt like 1 year.
Yeah.
Good morning, but it's good to be back.
It's good to have you back.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome back.
I have missed all of you.
And we've missed you too. We've
Thank
missed you
you.
too.
Speak for
Yes.
yourself, Adi.
Yes, especially in Boch has missed you.
Both you missed me.
We really
The
did.
moment you enter here, I knew you. I know you missed me. Mr.
Yeah.
Boj,
Yes,
how are
Jules.
you?
I'm good.
My
I'm good.
friend.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So how was Brazil? Maybe we should be asking you more questions,
We should be
shouldn't we?
asking you
Really?
all the
questions.
How was Brazil? How was Beijing?
uh,
You know, yeah.
It was fine. I
So
mean,
from Beijing,
Mm-hmm.
Beleng, Banjul.
Banjul.
I'm
All
telling
bees.
you, all bees.
all the bees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
welcome
that's
back.
right. All the bees. Thank
Yeah.
you. I mean, it was quite a great experience for me. Moving from China to Brazil, you know, two different continents, two different people, you know, two different things. I mean, it's amazing to see the transformation in Beleng and going to China, comparing between China, Beleng, and Gambia. Obviously, we know that there is a huge difference, but it was all a very good experience for me. It was a learning curve. I got to learn a lot of things, interacted with a lot of people, and I formed a lot of collaborations with a lot of people, and hopefully in the coming months, you know, we're going to work on those collaborations, which I think it's something good.
So
I mean,
we look forward to that.
yeah, and I learned to be a one-man soldier, like doing everything by myself, from filming,
Editing.
you know, editing,
Yeah.
doing all of that, to multitask. And it goes to show that, like, when you travel, you realize that, okay, you really needed some of these skills that
Yeah.
we take for granted here, some of us. And, you know, I was like, oh my God, if I did not know how to edit or how to do some of these things, it would be very, very hard for me. But thank God that I got to learn some of these skills. And I think it's a perfect opportunity for me to actually enhance my skills in some of the things that I feel like, okay, I think I really need to focus more attention or pay
Right.
me attention on some of these things. Yeah, it's a learning curve. Yeah,
So you
it
say
took me
learn-
out of my comfort
I was
zone.
going to say, you say learning curve. Were there things you saw from other media practitioners that you thought, oh, I like that. I like how they do this. I like how they do that. You know, particularly when you were in Beijing. Were there things that you noticed either from the Chinese or
Absolutely.
from others?
Yeah,
who
yeah.
were
For
there?
China, it's a different world, for the fact that everything it's AI,
Mm-mm.
and they have now anchors, you know, which is AI, script writers, even editors, you know, it's everything, it's AI. It's like they're transitioning from the normal everyday thing to now move into AI. Now, how do we as Africans integrate our everyday work using AI? I know AI is important, because I kept asking this question, okay, you are telling us to embrace AI, but the fact of the matter is you're way ahead of us, you know, in terms of technology, in terms of everything. So now, how do we ensure that we don't lose the most important thing? You know, how do we ensure that all of us as Africans, because already we know that there is deep inequality
So
that
for
exists.
you, what's the most important? Is it the human element? Because I think people surrender to AI completely and they forget to add
Yeah,
the
for
human
me,
element.
it's the
to
human
it.
element, in as much as AI is very important, but I feel like as a people, we are not ready yet, you know, settling down as a country, you know, the basics, we are yet to actually take care of the basics rather than going to AI, because I feel like it's going to be a disaster, trust me, for us to embrace that when we are not done with our basics.
What's your take on it?
Yeah.
Mbash?
I think that the conditions are not right,
Yeah,
as it were, for us
Exactly.
to embrace it
Embrace,
as
yeah.
they're doing. The infrastructure not quite there. I think we should focus more on where we are right now,
Right.
our level of technology and capacity.
Yeah.
What is it that we can do? We know that ultimately down the line you want to join in this AI
Yeah.
scape, as it were. But, you know,
Yeah,
each.
I hear you both, and I think you know, there are times when we're guilty of embracing things because we think we don't want to be left behind. We think, oh, the rest of the world is doing this. And I'll give an example: access to information. If people know the amount of work that has to be done in preparation, and I have to be honest, and I don't want to upset anybody, but we're not there yet. I know the bill is passed. You know, the act is now a reality. Information Commission is set up. They're going around the country. They're doing it. But in terms of the infrastructure, the training, that has to be done at every single public institution. We're a million miles from.
That's it. So what you're going to have is you're going to have this sort of asymmetrical development.
Yeah.
Few would bring it, obviously at the very top, and then down the line, I don't know, 10, 20 years, I do not know, down the line, then perhaps it will spread out.
Yeah, because I think the push for that was that, you know, particularly from journalists, there was a push to get you know, access to information passed. But, you know, I kept saying before I said, you know, be careful what you wish for, because you get to a situation where the act has been enacted and yet we can't deliver on it because the infrastructure is not there. But anyway, we could spend the rest of the what else is on the program today?
Our famous African proverb, which I love, and I want to believe all of you do. So we have the African proverb, we have our newspaper review, and our newspaper review guest is no other than Mr. Mbodj. And of course, we Rohi John Manjang, the Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. She's here to talk to us about the COP. We know that there has been a lot of, you know, she has been a co-chair on adaptation together with the German Minister Flassberg. And, you know, we also know that there has been a lot that is being done on adaptation, finance, loss and damage and all of that. What does Gambia seeks to achieve from all of this? I think that is where the conversation is going to center around. Exactly. So we are also expecting Vicente Gomez to talk about the show today is all about climate change. Yeah, obviously.
Now, Vicente, we did a very good story that Gajaga did. Yeah. Vicente is growing fruit trees as his contribution to fighting climate change. And it was quite a good story. And we carried that on Saturday, I think it was.
Yeah. So these and others coming. So our African proverb, Mr. Ade.
It says, once you carry your own water, you'll remember every drop. Once you carry your own water.
Trust me.
Well, you said trust me, so I'll give you first go then. And you said you like the proverbs.
I like the proverbs. Well, I do.
Yeah, so take it away.
Yeah, when you once you carry your own water, you will remember every drop. Obviously, because when it is your sweat, your hard work that you put into everything, if you invest so much energy, time and resource in whatever you're doing, obviously you tend to value, you know, whatever comes out of it. It's just like when someone comes and today gives you $1 million. Obviously you don't know how the person got that money, so the tendency of you spending lavishly on that or spending the money on things that aren't important is very high when you yourself have to really put in the hard work, the energy and everything. Obviously you will take good care of that thing. It's like having your property, it's like having your child. When you know, have your own kid, you tend to invest a lot of time, energy and everything into it, because you know that when it is good, it's for you. When it's bad, I mean, you're the first person who has to suffer. So obviously, you know, when something is yours, you tend to value it more than when it is public property. For example, I would give an example. If something, we have a tap here and it is said that, okay, this is like it's public property. It's like nobody tends to take good care of that, because we're like, it's not my own, it's not my own. But when it is your own, you tend to take a very good care of that thing, because you invested a lot of time, energy and money into that thing than when it is someone else's. So obviously, yeah, for me, that is the thing. Like when it is your own, you tend to take a very good care, you tend to nurture it than when it is someone else's or when it is public resource. We've seen over the years, you know, what has been happening, especially with public resources, because we believe that, okay, it's, you know, nobody owns it, it's public resources.
I like the analogy you gave about if somebody gives you $1 million. You're right. I mean, it's kind of easy come, easy go. You didn't work for it, you didn't sweat for it. But possibly the person who sweated and earned that $1 million, they remember what they had to put in to get it. In the same way, you know, the kind of thing about if you even if you took this one literally, once you carry your own water, And you see people who, they didn't go and fetch it from the tap, and how wasteful they are with the water. But if it's the person who carried it and sweated with it, they're very, very careful with how they, because they know that they have to make that long trek back once it's done. So, you know, every drop is precious. And it's the same as if you have struggled to build something, and you know, you've put a lot of thought, mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion to bring it to fruition. You're very careful about how you treat it, rather than if you just came and, you know, inherited it. So
yes, personal effort and perspective. How it really changes perspective.
Yeah,
that's it. And yes, the $1 million is tough. I mean, if you get it easy, then maybe.
I want to test this. I want to test it by getting her to give me $1 million and see what I do.
See what you do with it.
So Julde, you know.
$1 million is
but yeah, I like it, and you rightly said at the top of the program that we like these proverbs because they make you think, and they also can give you different interpretations.
Right.
Everybody can see it differently. There's no right or wrong way necessarily about it, and you know, made the point to Balde many times, because sometimes when we take a different viewpoint, you think we're kind of downplaying his. It's not. We're just taking a different view.
Yes.
You know, because there are different ways of looking at
which is good.
It's like you put something in the middle of this table, whatever. If it's an elephant, and the guy there can only see the tail, the guy there can only see the trunk, the one there can see this side. It's the same elephant.
Yes.
But you're seeing it from different sides. It's the same with these. You know, it's you know. So this is the kind of elephant.
That's a bit like Cubism,
yeah. Go ahead.
So different angles as it were, to reality. That's really what it is, different angles to reality.
So it's a good one.
Yeah, so let us now head straight to the newspapers, and we have Standard, Foroya, and the Point newspapers. Okay. Mr. Ade. So on the Standard newspaper, I saw a paper on Sanamanjang.
I think this is yesterday's.
Has to do with.
This is yesterday's.
It's actually today, Tuesday.
Okay, read what's
Sanamanjang's co-arrestees, not persons of interest to Gambia.
Okay, right.
Not persons of interest to Gambia, really?
Yeah, they're not. They just happen to be together, so they're not people who were adversely mentioned, and so on. They might just be friends. They might be family. You know, they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, and so I guess they're going to set them free. Because you know, as it rightly says, they're not persons of interest. So persons of interest are people who, they're named people that we are on the lookout for, like Sanamanjang, and these people.
But again, I read on the papers that it's his arrest was linked to, is it arms and trafficking?
Allegedly. I think because you know, and this is one of the complaints that somebody made to me this very morning. He said, look, in fact, I beg your pardon, it was Korka said to me, look, they need to come out and say exactly. We don't want them to tell us exactly the details of, you know, how did it come about? They can tell us the kind of round, but it's kind of all very, very fuzzy. And so lots of stories are popping up now. There are stories saying that they were gathering arms because this was going to be the famous return of Yahya Jammeh, etc., etc. So all sorts of stories, you know, in the absence of, you know, the truth or any facts, then rumors just take hold.
That's right.
The famous return or lack of.
Or lack of. November's gone. Maybe he didn't mean this November. He meant a November.
No, for me, when I heard Sanamanjang, because during Jammeh's period, what a notorious name, associated with all sorts of things.
Torture.
Unbelievable. So we said, finally, because for a long time we heard that he was in Guinea-Bissau.
That's right.
These were all rumors, obviously. But we were all just so interested in this man because he had just had this larger-than-life, you know, kind of image in our heads, and the notoriety. You just want to see them. Do they look human? Are they proper? So we heard so much about this Sanamanjang. It would be interesting to know, the circumstances of his arrest and what's going to happen.
He's not yet been extradited to the Gambia, but we believe that process has already started. So I guess we wait and see what happens.
Yeah, what happens.
Yeah. But yes, so these persons who are not of interest, they will be let go, I presume.
So our famous GRA to hit $25 billion by end of year.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a big fever.
Every year, they kind of give them a target and they exceed it. And I think Mr. Mboj once asked, maybe the targets are too low. But it's Dabo, who is the the Commissioner General, he always does make the point that, because sometimes people kind of say, oh, what do you mean we're a tax-based economy? Well, we don't have natural resources, so for a country like Saudi or Libya under Gaddafi, the oil wealth was where the country got its money from. They didn't depend on people paying taxes, ordinary citizens or businesses in the country paying taxes, because the flow from their oil, and certainly in the case of Saudi and many of the Gulf states, it has, in fact, their citizens don't even pay tax in some of them. So because they have, but in the Gambia we don't have that luxury, and so citizens, businesses are expected to pay taxes to fund various services, public services.
That's it, and we're also in circumstances where most of the economy is informal.
A
good number of people
you drive along the road, there are garages where people, they're not set up as a formal business, and yet they're doing tremendous business. And so there will come a time when if we're serious, we'll have to force those to formalize. Otherwise, they're making lots and lots of money. They're not paying a penny in tax.
That's it. So when you look at this, for instance, 25 billion or whatever you call it, when you look at it as a percentage of GDP, it's low.
It's low.
Go to sort of high income countries and look at tax as a percentage of GDP, much higher. So that's really what we need to do. That base. That informal electrician, plumber, whoever, how do we make them pay tax? It doesn't matter how little, they all add up. Can you imagine? So that's really how you must widen that base. You see, this is the key. And we are always complaining, government is not doing this, government is not doing that. When I meet some of these people, I challenge them. Do you pay your taxes? You say, you're not doing your responsibility. You're not discharging your responsibility as a citizen, but you want others to discharge their duties, as it were, because of their positions. So let us be fair with ourselves and our nation in the end. You know what I mean?
We have to be honest.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, civic duties and responsibilities are very important. And I think this is a subject that should be taught right from primary level to even university, so that people get to know that this is, okay, I have a right as a citizen, but I also have responsibilities to my country, to my people. And I ought to fulfill my responsibilities if I want my country to fulfill its responsibilities to me. So I think always we demand, but we are not doing what we are supposed to do as a people. That's so I think that is very, very important. And I want to believe that this is something that we should take up from primary level right to university.
I've been saying it since I came here, and I'll say it again, we have a kind of civic education, whatever they're called, and I wonder what they're doing, because they should be insisting that this is taught in schools. In other countries it is, and when you go to those countries you realize how the citizens, they grow up feeling that sense of responsibility. It's not just that they have rights, they also, it's kind of indoctrinated that their responsibilities, and in a good way.
That's right.
Indoctrinated in a good way. So 100% right, because if you look at that 25 billion, it sounds a lot. Well, this is a country where its diaspora sends $1 billion to the country every year. And that's just the ones we can account for, because they go through formal channels. About 800 million comes through formal channels. We estimate between 200 to 300 million comes through informal. That's even when I was in UK recently, I was coming back, people were giving me money to bring to family members in envelopes. None of that was accounted for. So there's a lot of that happening. So you estimate the two together, it's about $1 billion.
Yeah.
So $25 billion sounds a lot, but in the global context, it's small, as you said, in terms of our GDP. So what else is caught your eye?
So on the Point newspaper, Mr. Ade, Modu Turodabo launches free ambulance service to boost emergency healthcare in KM. That's a laudable initiative.
Free ambulance service. Okay, good. That's one that definitely should be worth kind of chasing up and finding out more about.
Yes.
Yeah, free ambulance service. So is the other ambulance service a paid for one?
Really?
They require
I thought ambulance services were free.
It's supposed to be free, though. I don't know whether
is this a private individual doing something that's outside of the civic one? You know, so it's not the council, it's not the government, it's a private
individual
free ambulance service, which, as you said, is laudable if that's what it is. But I'd be quite interested in that because and maybe that might inspire others to actually get involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because sometimes we hear about ambulance services and it tends to be said that in the urban areas we're not doing too badly, and the rural areas is where they're kind of most needed, really, and lacking. But obviously urban areas, because of the population, you do need a lot of ambulances. So.
Right, that's right. So Barrow calls for honest teaching of African warriors' history in colonial wars.
I watched this.
Yes.
It was yesterday when he was at the Charoy military cemetery for the 81st anniversary of the massacre. And it was a good thing because he used it not just to address that. And he said, your fathers, grandfathers and great-grandfathers, they're heroes. Yeah. These men who fought for these colonial powers and they never really got their due. I mean, and I'll tell you how much they didn't get their due. So in 1944, when they liberated Paris, the African troops who were part of that liberation, the British and the Americans asked Charles de Gaulle that when the troops marched into Paris to triumphant, that they didn't want any Africans there. Because in their own colonies they were being quite racist. America and Britain, no British colony was independent at the time, 1944, and so they didn't want to give this thing that Africans had been responsible, and yet they had died. You talk about, if you take the two wars, about 30,000 African troops had died fighting for somebody else's war, and then come the day of victory, you're not even allowed. And Charles de Gaulle, accepted those terms from Britain and from America, and so no African troops were in the ones who marched into Paris on its liberation day, and it's a shameful chapter, And so they want you to sweat and die for them, but you're not good enough to live among them, and we're still finding that. You go and some idiot will say to you, go back to your country, and you tell them, my great-grandfather fought for your stupid country to be free. And you're telling me nonsense.
See the irony in that?
Mr.
Moju, to add something to that.
Yes. You see, for me, when the other, what we call the other, does stuff like that to me, I don't expect much. It's never shown me respect and all the rest of it. But now, when I come and take my culture, what have I done to it? I've really turned it into a commodity. I do not really live it. If we genuinely did, you would have seen the difference in our levels of governance, in how we treat each other. So now it seems as if culture is something there to be admired. Let's read it and admire it. We are not really living it, participating in it. I really do not see it. So when I hear all these highfalutin things about culture, I said, why don't you incorporate it into your lives in what you do? If we genuinely believed it, genuinely believe in our religion, for instance, and all the precepts and all of that, and then we wouldn't be talking about how corrupt we are, we cannot run anything, we are not living it.
I don't think Barrow spoke at all about culture. He talked
Let's
about
admire our past, our heroes.
Yeah,
we know
says,
that.
Yeah,
For what?
Yeah. No.
How does it propel us forward?
But the thing is, when you come to these countries, that you go to Britain, there's no place in Britain. I lived there for 40 whatever years. I can tell you, there will not be a week in England, for example, when you will not see a story on the radio or TV or whatever to do with the war, or set in the wartime. And you know, these people, they are heroes, they are respected, they are admired and so on. And you know, all he is saying is that we don't teach that. And so people aren't even aware that these people even did that. I mean, the person who was editing my story yesterday said he'd never even heard of this, that African troops fought in, I swear to God, I'll name him, Dels. You're watching. he had no idea. He had no idea. You know, that's how terrible it is, because we don't even teach it. It's part of our history as much as our present. You know, how did we get here? You know, we didn't just appear here. You know, and essentially that's what Barrow, because I listened to the speech, and what he was saying is that we don't even teach that history here. They're not going to teach. They're not going to teach it. They're not going to teach it, but we don't even teach it.
We learned it at school.
You know.
We learned a lot of things at school. When your educational system, when you have a breakdown in your educational system, that's your issue. But other students are learning it. Other people are learning it. We've been learning this. This is what we've been complaining about. We've been learning all sorts of things about our past. Now we know a good deal more than we did. Everybody knows that. But how is it propelling me forward?
No, it's a valid point.
I think that is really the whole value of culture. It's really, culture is really what you do. It's not about what our people did in the past and all of this. And they're all linked, the heroes and all that. But what is it that you do now? Culture is very active. It's a verb. It's a doing thing.
But understanding what happens in the past.
And to be fair to Barrow, he never used the word culture once in that speech. So I don't know where you're getting that from.
He doesn't have to.
You know, he talked about history.
He
talked about history.
But that's it. That's where the link comes in. Our heroes who did what in the past, what for.
But it's
helps
in fact
us
where
to know
he does agree.
Where we are, where we're from, and where we're going to.
And if you listen to the speech, that is exactly what he says. He says we need to build on that, to build an Africa that is forward-thinking, forward-looking.
Right.
That is, you know, and he went on. It was an extensive speech, and there was a lot in it. And like I said, he never once mentioned the word culture.
Yeah,
but he was just saying that build.
Exactly.
You know,
just to add on that, we have countries that are demanding for their artifacts to be returned back to them. But if they don't know, how are they going to demand for that? How are they going to know that, okay, these are ours and we deserve it? It is ours, so it has to be brought back to us.
I once worked for about 10 years opposite the British Museum. And they have over 10,000 African artifacts that have not been displayed for over 100 years, never been displayed. If you go there because you're studying history, you can get a receipt and you can go and view some of them. You can even, in some instances, take photographs of them. You know, the African countries, they haven't been displayed since 1890, whatever. Wow. You know, and yet they're all sitting there, 10,000 of them, maybe it might even be more. And you know, some of those people are, you know, demanding, well, you don't even put them on display. Why don't you give them back to us? And we
so that's the unfortunate bit. So thank you very much, Mr. Mbodj, for reviewing some of the papers with us. It was an honor to have you here. So we will continue this discussion after the program.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to mention the Gambia Maritime press statement about the tankers, the Gambia registered tankers that were kind of torpedoed in the Black Sea. And you know, we kind of mentioned it briefly because Balde was saying he wasn't aware that there were Gambia registered tankers, and of course I mentioned about the Liberian ones and so on. They're just flag of convenience. They don't belong to us, you know. Yeah. So
this is all we have for the newspaper review. Thank you very much, Mr. Mbodj, for reviewing the papers with us. We will go for a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues with the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. We'll be right back.
Gilabila radiyallahu anha wadi noddingol folongol e Islam. Noddingol tawa e diine men on. Julbe ben noddinte ɗo e ɓe yahude ɓe juula enen fof daroɗen dula goto si tawi ka jogiɗo ma ala fof juula laaɓi 5 e ñallal ngal Aji Bank Limited no welti fi tawede laaɓi 3 oɗo agent competition fi ɓe dépensamo ɓe ɓeydanamo doole ɗum ɗo ko fi tun hoolagol ko wonɗen kon ha para yiɗa daro fonka ko annduɗa ɗum ɗon woni ko hawti en kon ɗum woni hoolagol ha para noon kadi noddingol fi juulen awa tawe ɗum ɗo joni an kadi ɓeydita hen e sengo ko annduɗa ko ɗum woni noddingol waɗu vidéo joni nulda e WhatsApp hara hiɗa noddina e oɗon nomba 3373555 ɗo e balɗe 34 lewru décembre 2025 meɗen jogui himɓe ɓe annduɗa hiɓe jogui gandal ko kamɓe darata te noon kadi min noddoya on ɗo ka QTV fi wawa yiide poɗodiron e ko ɓuura andirede e final on fi wawon yiide on gañike te noon ɓe jonniray ko annduɗa ko ɗum woni certificate ji mbuuɗi kañum kadi e piiji boyi 2026 national agent competition ko Aji Bank dépensi ɗum Aji Bank yo investment park
nayine dake network koto mi yalonko wole warta nyim banko kan adung adabe soniaring wala nyama imuna fang telefono la mi yalonko abe seniaring adung internet wobe tariaring nyindum kiusel dorna sinyin nati aleno ibori yela kiusel line ota customer care mi suti atima bi kiusel network ko mi warta network ko beti adung adabe soniaring kiusel sunu boss ndolla nga silo walang dulia bulan noma.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning program, and I am Julden Jai together with my co-host, Mr. Adedrame. And like I said in the beginning, we have the Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Rohi John Manyang, and we are going to talk about the COP30.
I will be an interested observer because both of you were there. Minister, welcome to the program. And of course, you're no stranger to QTV.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And good morning to all out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So shall we dive straight in then?
Yes.
As I said, both of you were there. I was not. Minister, I guess we start at the beginning.
Yes.
For you, what were the takeaways? And first of all, congratulations on your appointment.
Yes.
If you could just tell viewers what that was. Yes.
Thank you so much. And we are happy to be back home. All doing good. And so far, with the information that I have, everyone has returned compared to some of the COPs that we have, 1 or 2
Absconders.
Sneaking out.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we are happy for now, as far as my information is concerned, until maybe what I've not been informed of. Everyone is back home, and we are all in good shape, alhamdulillah. But we thank the public also for joining us in prayers and wishing us well, especially after the fire incident that happened at the last moments of the heated negotiation.
At the Africa Pavilion.
So we were even tempted to say, I hope this is not something to keep us calm, because we were already tense that things were not going right.
Wow.
But I think the fire was also, as they said, a blessing to keep us calm and also to go back to our common behaviors, because some we are already ready to go to the media and demonstrate about the text that was released.
Yes, yes.
But alhamdulillah, except 13 that were affected by the smoke, everyone, and then they also recovered successfully.
Yes.
The COP, as usual, is just another climate international arena where we put on our gloves in terms of the legal skills and country interests.
When you say gloves, you mean boxing gloves? Or?
I am telling you, it can go as far as that. As you said, Gilda was there. I think there was even a time somebody came and told me, the media is here. I said, but then this time around, also, it's unfortunate. I've been given a new assignment to support the COP presidency.
Yes.
So I have to make sure that I behave professionally and at least a little bit calmer. because previous year I was supporting the LDC and the Africa Group in negotiating. So we frequently visit the media to talk on our challenges and also even to show them that, look, we are aware what is happening and we don't agree.
Yes, yes.
But this time around, I could not join the team, but it came to a point that I was nearly wanted to jump my space. All in all, alhamdulillah, it's another successful COP, because this is why we have it every year, and to get the entire, it's the biggest event. I'm not sure whether I can say the biggest international event, but the biggest international event or event when it comes to climate change. Even for the other sectors, I want to believe so.
It's probably,
it attracts close to 50 to 70,000 people. So it's definitely, and even those that are joining online and other things, it's definitely a very big event. What is important is how we are able to comport ourselves, reason up, and agree to what is of common interest, which is mitigating climate and building our adaptations with respect to the climate impact. But again, seeing how best we can revise the business as usual within the levels of the 2 degrees to 1 degree within that level. We don't have to go above the 1.5, but also we need to also struggle to reach below the 2 degrees, which is the key subject matter that took the stage.
Of course.
Because reducing or having a roadmap as to how we are able to transition away from fossil fuel was a very heated debate. There are groups that I will not mention, but they are the emerging economies that have just joined the crime makers when it's come to the oil market. Feel that they will not be subjected to injustice by allowing them to join with the historic emitters in the transition process. But again, they are not even ready to have that discussion. For them, it's not. It is bias. It's not balance. It's not justice. So that has taken definitely much of our time, and everybody is carefully trying to avoid not stepping on each other's toe. So that is how the negotiation turns out. The first week was we saw the first week, which was the first technical bit. Technicians will go into rooms, and then the senior people who are there, like ministers, will now be attending their bilaterals, just to make sure that they adjust up with time. Because the second week, which is usually the high level, is now when the ministers also come into the room and take their seats to do the high level negotiations. So for the Gambia and my team, I want to use this opportunity to thank my senior team, the Deputy Permanent Secretary Technical, Boubacar Diallo, and the Director of Climate Change and Director of CPCU, and also some of the officers that were there, but more so also the media. The likes of QTV and GRTS, they did extremely well to connect Belém with the Gambia. And I think all will agree with me that Gambia was well informed. QTV has been aggressively following us with interview. Sometimes I don't even want to see her call, or even because she will drag me from anywhere she wants to.
Because I'm pestering her.
Yes, she will drag me all over everywhere to say that this place is noisy, and then she wants me to sit in a way. I was just like a baby to her. But then I cherish that, because that is what they were assigned to do. We have our assignment, they have their assignment. To some extent, I was, look, we all have things to do. So this is what they are here to do. So they'll have to make sure that it has been done. So we thank them. They are ladies, but we thank them for going the extra mile to put it, because sometimes it's challenging around the environment, noise, internet here. You have to work late at night to put up the stories and then read several articles. But at the end, they become more informed than even some that attended the COP, because they have to read lengthily to be able to put in the story right, and to also get because in summarizing, you have to read widely to be able to summarize and put the essence. But let me just take you, if you don't have more questions, if I should roll out.
Please,
the Gambia, the delegation was reduced because of the costs. That going to Belém was not easy. It was very expensive, and to some of us, we even have to stay long because there was no flight. The last minute issues are very difficult. They're costly, but also very difficult for even to adjust within your time, because you don't have now the leverage to have options. So that has cost us a lot. But again, also for the number also has also reduced. But the good thing is what we are able to achieve. That is what is important. It's not the size. The size is important though, but also what we are able to do. This year for COP, we were able to take our young people through my ministry, through the World Bank project, WACA, we were able to sponsor 3 young people from the activists, the LCOE that attended COP. And this was we see them to be very proactive. They attended because the young people need to help us make decisions. Because some of these decisions are not for today, they're going to trickle down to the next generations. So getting them involved was very important. So we thank the WACA project, but also the World Bank, who is the co-sponsor, financier of that project. And the entire other private sector that joined us, that attended key negotiations. But then we also have one of our key champions, senior negotiators, a young one though, Dr. Famara Damfa, who follows adaptation, which is a very hot topic for the least developed countries, but for the developing countries as a whole. But even for the the developed countries, I would not say, because they are more mitigation than adaptation. So we have this different, but we support mitigation, but we said it should be balanced. And that is what the Paris Agreement says. Article 9.45 talks about, and even 1, we need to mitigate, but we also have to understand that mitigation should go along with adaptation. Because mitigation is to some extent going to be at the cost of the developing countries, those that did not even partake into the climate making. So we are saying we need to balance this with adaptation. Adaptation in a global sense will link us to at least building our resilience, but also enhancing our development pattern and also eradicating poverty. Because once you adapt your system, your road infrastructure will now be able to resist the impact of climate change, the rains, everything will be in a way that you'll be able to stand the test of time with respect to the expectation of the weather pattern. If you're able to build your infrastructure, the region of your infrastructure, your seas, you're able to at least live a very better life in the future. So all these things are expense that are going to benefit our development pattern, which is not going well with most or some of the development. Even though I want to be professional here, I know it's a national interest that takes the lead in most of our engagements. But what is important is for us to understand that climate change is everybody's business. It's affecting us all together. But we have different capacities and capability to respond, and also to make sure that we're able to mitigate as quickly as possible. So it's important that we balance mitigation and adaptation. But let me just take you through the negotiation proper. But before then, let me say thank you to the Azerbaijan presidency. That's the Baku presidency. We signed an MOU with them to work on the peace building with respect to climate change. This will attract some support base and also technical support to prepare bankable project proposal with respect to climate change and peace building. So this was signed in the first week during the technical side when we were also busy doing our negotiations. And we attended also the bilateral and with the climate mobility, which is very important. We've seen climate change having a toll on our farmers to the extent that most of the Badibunkas and the Kiankas are now in Banjul looking for work to do, because farming is now becoming not sustainable when it's come to their feeding. So they're coming here to work. And that is also putting more pressure on internal migration, but even external migration. We see in the back way to Europe. All these have been induced because of our usual economic base is being affected. That's the agriculture and even the fishing sector. So now this is what is important when it comes to climate mobility. How can we manage what is caused by the movement with respect to climate change? So we also attended that event. And we are looking forward. We signed an MOU with them, but then we are looking forward how to enhance this partnership to leverage on climate finance with respect to mitigating climate movements with respect to our own context. So to the negotiations, I am not appointed, but I've been assigned to support the COP presidency, co-chairing with the COP presidency, but this I was doing with Germany, the Minister of Germany, so that we can work on the indicators specific, but the indicators within the level of adaptation. That's the global goal on adaptation, which is a very key subject and a very important subject for the presidency of Brazil. I would also thank the COP presidency for their experience. I think the COP president is one of the most experienced presidents. He has tried to maneuver and then dribble us to walk out and get this COP on really only the actual time, not to extend the time. And from the word go, that was the tune that we had. And he has worked on all the mechanism possible. but he could not also escape us. It's unfortunate, but he did all that is necessary. He and his team, they worked very hard, and that is where we had the Mutirao. Don't ask me what's the meaning of Mutirao. It's their local language. But usually every COP, they have their own slogan to be like we have for the Baku Hop, the Baku Declaration, the Belém Declaration. So they also came up with a global concept to say now they call it as the Mutirao. So this Mutirao is just to box all the key important subject matters under the presidency. So to address them as one package. And the team under the Mutirao is the unilateral trade mechanism, which is very important because we understand that trade affects, climate change affects the entire the trade mechanisms. So it's important that this is being tackled. So also we had the financing, but financing from developed countries to developing countries, which was very key and a very hot topic.
So did they make pledges? I mean, what because the thing that hung over the whole thing was the America, India, China.
Exactly.
They weren't engaging.
Sure.
So the pledges that were made, how solid were they?
Yes, if I just complete this key team, and then we also have under this, that's the transparency reporting, which is also to report on the country's mitigations, transitioning from fossil fuel, the 1.5 degree, which is also a very important topic. And also they have the 1.5 degree, which is a very, very, very important one. So this was under the Mutirao, but other subject matters were there. We had the loss and damage, and this is where the pledges come. The loss and damage was the last COP. After several years of negotiation, this is what we call COP. You go through, you battle through subject matters, we will all agree that they are relevant, but to agree on the details of the text would take us year after year. So the loss and damage finally got its way out last COP. But again, with empty basket. The basket was not filled with anything. But again, as we move on gradually, this time around, there was something that dropped into the basket. And it's about 2.5 million USD. It's not much compared to what is needed. Because we're talking about the trillions of dollars. So if you're talking about millions, then you are not very close to that. But we keep saying half a loaf is better than none. So there's something in the basket, finally, and we hope this to progressively grow. And that's the essence of it. For the Gambia, we walked through a block, and the block that we are supporting is the African group, that's the developing country groups. But now we trickle down to come to the least developed country groups, where we fit into properly. So I think it's very important that I talk about the least developed countries' expectations. We had our red lines, we have our acts that we wanted it to be. But funny enough, even within our own bloc, where we have our sister countries to support, that's the Africa groups and the least developed, the developing country groups, there are divergent views. So it was important that we manage those divergent views so that we'll be able to have a strong base to now take up our key interests to the developed countries. Because if within your group you are not agreeing, how can you now get the other forces now to agree? So it was very important that we were able to get, because what we want us what we wanted the COP to recognize is our vulnerability. And even whereby it says the developing countries, but in Article 9.4, Article 9.1 talks about the particular this vulnerability. Article 9.1, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5 talks about us as vulnerable countries. So it was important that, and Article 2.2 of the Paris Agreement also considers our different capacities and capabilities. So it's important that these were put in the context, and this is where the least developed countries and the small island states also fight their case. If you want to join us in one basket with the likes of South Africa, the Saudi Arabia, China, who still consider themselves as developing countries, and you want us to compete accessing certain funds, you think we'll be able to sail well? We will not be able to sail well. So this is where we are saying, put us into our own comfort zone, whereby now we have the same capacity, the same capability, the same technical base, so we can compete at a level ground. But if you put the small wrestlers and the big wrestlers in the same group to wrestle, you're not justice. So maybe you just want to trample to the other one so that they can easily die. So this was our plea, and that's our case. But the good part of it, we didn't get it as we wanted it. But alhamdulillah, within the GGA, which I was co-chairing, it was very tough, because for adopting it, Panama and Costa Rica, I think, they cry foul that the procedures did not follow. This is very usual. Even in Azerbaijan, we had a similar thing with the NCQG, as that the new collective quantified goal. It was finally get sailed through during the COP29. But some countries also vetoed to say that the procedures were not okayed. Again, also this one also was confronted with that. Is both the means, the mitigation work program, and also the global goal on adaptation that were queried on their procedures. They cried that they were not given the right forum, the channel was not full, and that's very usual. This is the debate, and that is what brings in the taste of it, when people now get to their foot to negotiate, to talk to each other and get it calm. So we had to pull down on the deliberation for the final session to allow Panama and Costa Rica's case to be addressed. So we went, the COP president has to come down. We negotiated and to the extent that we were all able to balance, and it was adopted. But the good part of it is that the COP presidency, being a developing country and also interested in the global goal on adaptation, made it a little bit friendly and easy, because at least lu guy they were so rusut Kenya sa way di nga rus borom kër. So they were not, maybe they don't mind about it, but then at least hence the presidency is now leading, and that's their interest. You have to support to make sure that they don't fail. So most of the interest we are towards that. We don't have to, let's be very honest that they have hosted us and definitely have given us a very good hospitality. Let's see how best we can also give them that little bit of respect to sail out with their objective. And that is what also supported the global goal on adaptation. The only query was we had these indicators. The indicators initially from 2 years, they were almost 900 to around to 500. That's almost close to 10,000 indicators. But the technicians subjected to some review, collapsing it, collapsing it until they reached to around 490. And then the 490 were also said they were bloated. They need to also do some revision and work on it. And finally, they had 100 indicators. But these 100 indicators, even to some countries, they're too big. Like the Arab group said that we need to go to around, when I had consultations with them, they were saying we need to reduce them to 15. Which we are like, how can 10,000 be reduced to 500, now to 100, you want it to go to 15 or around that? But again, this is what we call the interest of negotiations. So we had to battle with them, but there were critical red lights in these 100 indicators, like using national resources to finance mitigation and adaptation. That was a red line for all countries, especially for developing countries. It was completely red, even for including Brazil, and even also for the reporting pattern as well. So there are several items on the 100 indicators that were red lines. So the good part of it, during the negotiation, we consulted with all the groups, different blocks, and then all their red lines were removed. So that reduced it to 59. But within this 59, unfortunately, we didn't have access to the list of the indicators when we were okaying our own text. The text was sent to us. After review by the technicians, we had to review, myself and my co-chair, to sign it, sign it off. That's what they call, you sign it off. So when we are doing the signing off, we agreed. It was a very tough one because the Gambia, as a least developed country, was co-chairing with a developed country, Germany. So the battle is there. Even though we want to be professional in a bracket, trust me, this cannot work.
Cannot.
Yes, because I would have to represent the least developed countries, but also the developing countries. So I have to be strong to make sure that, look, our agenda must prevail. He is also protecting his own developed country agenda. So in the bracket, and where we have the equilibrium, the center stage, we had to compromise. My compromise was on the list of the introductions. it was to recall certain articles and certain negotiations, certain already completed tasks, or maybe meetings or resolutions. So within these recalls, we had to recall Article 9 as a whole, and Article 9.4, Article 9.1, which is our interest as least developed countries, but as developing countries.
Right.
Adaptation.
So, but then they don't want to touch that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was a serious red line for them, because they don't want to scale up finance. We already had the idea that they are not ready to go to scaling up finance. And within these articles, 9.1, 9.4, 9.5, scaling up finance, 3 was also there. So they don't want to talk about tripling adaptation or scaling up finance. So knowing that this is not what they want, but there is also a sentence, a text in this, in the GGA, which talks about Article 9.1. So my position was, yes, on the introduction, we can remove and have 9. 9 will include, of course, 9.2, which is their interest. 9.2 is talking about also opening up orders to support the contributions to climate change, which will include the private sectors, include other innovative financing. But we are saying the developed countries should be the lead. So, but this one is saying voluntary. So Article 9 is even very flexible. It's talking, but then again, it opens up the box of now calling for other people to come in voluntarily. But we are saying, let's go by seriousness. The seriousness is that the developed countries should finance. They are the ones that are rich, and they got rich on our expense. That's why we're here to mitigate this problem. So now you foot the bills. So this is what they don't want to be clearly spelled out, even though they are in the article. So we said, okay, now I will compromise. Let's have the entire article here, because the Article 2, which is very flexible, is talking about encouraging orders, but also voluntarily. So I'll compromise, but I want to see Article 9.1 clearly spelled out in the text. We battle, and then, legally they change the position of including. So that is where they change. But I also consulted with my legal team. I know he was also consulting, because we are on the calls up to 5 a.m.
Yes.
Wow.
So we are on the call to okay the text, because the text has to go in the morning before the team comes. So we agreed to now change the include position, but we say in accordance. That is where we position ourselves. Even though you say including developed countries, but you say in accordance to Article 9.1. And 9.1 is saying this. So my legal team said, look, hence we had this in accordance. Even if it includes there, but in accordance, the reference text is what we are interested in. So we maintain. So it's a give and take. I'm just giving about the gist of negotiation. So we maintain that. All in all, the outcome of COP has been very, very, very successful. I want to commend the entire negotiators, but also to our own negotiators from the Gambia. We have the likes of Famara Damfa, who was supporting me personally, and the Deputy Permanent Secretary Technical, they were supporting me personally on this new assignment. But we also have the likes of Malang Sambu. He was very keen supporting the MWP, that's the Mitigation Work Program, which is a very, very important, because it talks about building our forest, but also on waste. And we can see even here, if you know about Mbolo, they do these waste issues and also on forest building. So they're very, very committed. He was the one leading this on behalf of the Gambia, supporting this the means of the mitigation work program. But we also have a very strong woman who is also doing the loss and damage. That's one of our directors, Maria Mandau, the director of climate change project unit. She has been very, very strong, but they had a bottleneck. But to tell you that this negotiation can go very far, I think there was a time that within the Africa group itself, they could not agree. There is these developed countries that we are holding on certain key principles because of their national interests. So I know they had to escalate it to their presidents. The president of Brazil has to call that country president because the technical group could not agree. They fought very hard. We intervened among ourselves with ministers. We cannot solve it out. And the presidency wants to get at least a text. And they cannot have a text if there's no agreement. So they have to now escalate it to not only the ministers, because we cannot solve it. They now escalate to the presidents. So when the president of Brazil consulted with their president, that's the time they were able to normalize it and agreed. So, but this is how negotiations go. They can go very far. So they were able to now have a text. The gender, which was led by a supporter of work on the Gambia, one Fatou Jeng is a junior activist, but we had the former Fatou Gay, one of our former ministers, who was also working on the gender. But the gender, the problem that they keep having is about this notion of definitions, whether a complete man or a complete woman. So the definition that they want to put in is to make sure that they will balance any type of human beings. So and then some of the, even not only the Muslims, the Muslims aggressively don't are allowed, but even the core Christians and even the proper human beings itself, they will not allow it. So it was a very difficult, and that is why the gender text has always been having since then having this stumbling block because of some of these legalities and some of these cultures and traditions.
Is a transgender person.
Exactly. So it was very, and then unfortunately they could not sail out well. I don't have much with the Article 6 because I was not following it, but I think all in all the other articles, all the other key subject matters sailed out very well. Negotiations are to continue. I want to inform my listeners that the Gambia is also happy that on the next COP's venue, there was a very, very, very dramatic process that went on during COP. The 2 countries that we are supposed to host it for next year identified was, because they could not agree, is Turkey. It's Turkey and Australia.
Yes.
It was very hot. The likes of Julia and my team, they drank a lot of coffees from them. Because every morning they will line up gift to people, giving coffees. At least I think that was another campaign for them.
And it's going to be Turkey.
Yes, but then finally they were able to reach consensus that now they normalized, they agreed that Turkey is going to be the host country. But Australia is also going to lead the negotiations. So they are now working hand in hand.
Minister, thank you. I think we've run out of time, sadly.
So thank you
very much. Thank you for that comprehensive report.
Thank you.
And we hope, as you said.
I should have mentioned that we are hosting COP32.
That
is the least developed countries. Addis
Ababa.
Addis is a least developed country, and for the first time, the least developed country is hosting COP.
That's right.
And hopefully we will.
I hope so. If we live to witness it, I think that will be a very, very interesting COP. Even if I'm not minister, I want to go.
In Ethiopia.
If I am alive. I hope that we'll all be okay and alive.
Thank you.
So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming.
For COP, we have more than 100 pages to talk about.
Exactly.
I'm sure I'm going to invite you for another special edition.
That should be long.
Yes, that should be long.
At least we can touch on all the themes.
Yes.
So don't go away. We go for a commercial break. And after the break, we'll be talking about Vicente Gomez too. And it's also linked to climate change. So do not go away. Very interesting story. Join us after this break.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Bokal si network bu gëna rëy gëna yombale si réewi Gambia bi fii jëfandikool call bu set internet bu gaaw li yëpp si njëg bu yomba fii si QCell dawal léegi si suñ customer care bu la gëna jege ñu may la QCell line te doo si fay dara QCell network bu gëna rëy te it gëna yombale si réew mi fii QCell suñu bas ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
These tracks have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain, and stretched. Moments when every fiber of my being screams, give up. But the fire within me won't let me quit. Despite the burning muscles, in this sport, every moment matters. Every second counts. My failures, my dreams, my pain, my triumphs, they propel me forward beyond all limits.
So after that interesting conversation with Rohey John Manyang, we are going to head straight to our last segment. And we have here Vicente Gomez, climate change activist, to talk about fruit trees for climate change adaptation. And we were just talking about adaptation shortly.
And you know, when we get people on here and they say they are climate change activists, usually it just means they attend a lot of conferences and they do this, they do that. But you are doing something practical. So I wonder if you just tell the viewers what it is. But welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being here. I'm a product of the environment, and the environment is key and core to our lives and livelihood. I'm a villager, and within my village setup, the first thing, honestly, that is evident is trees around us. Right. There is no compound in my village that does not have up to about 20 trees. It's not possible.
Which area is this?
That's Kitty.
Kitty. Oh, yes.
Just 3 kilometers from Brikama.
Yes.
Now, you have different communities within Kitty. You have Kitty 1, Kitty 2, Kitty 3. Based on the way we settled, but it's actually the same community. And growing up within that environment, sincerely, we cannot be anything other than people who protect and promote the environment. And we know the benefits therein.
Of course.
All right. Why fruit trees? We all talk about the cost of living. You go to the market, you ask for, let's say, an orange, they tell you $20, $25. Something that you can grow. All you just need is water and land. Unfortunately, we're actually not doing that. Growing up, I used to know some families that used to have orchards or gardens in their backyard. Not anymore. Why? Infrastructural development has consumed the environment. And this brings us to the issue of the environment vis-a-vis development. Should the environment be at the detriment of development? What development are we talking about? Sustainable development is one thing. Development is another. I'm interested in sustainable development, not development. Any development that is not sustainable is not for me. And for me, the more trees we plant, the more sustainable we become. We have fresh water in most part of this country. What are we doing with that water? That's our resource. That's our diamond. That's our gold. What are we actually doing with it? So for me, these are things that should definitely challenge you and I, who are quote-unquote educated. Because the essence of education is for liberation. Emancipation.
So,
how did it start? Like, I know that you did mention that you are from a community that actually values trees and all of that. But where does the inspiration comes from?
It's from the family, from my house, from my father. As I said, growing up, you cannot go to school without going to the farm. You start from the farm to the school to the farm and back home. So it's like, it's a cycle for us. You wake up as early as 6 o'clock, you go to the farm. You walk maybe from 6:30 to 7:30. You take a shower in the farm, go to the school. From school, you come back to the farm. From the farm, you go home. So it's like you have a home farm and actually a farm. So the home farm is for those who are not able to go to the farm actually outside of the house. So there now, you make sure that you have fruit trees. So that when it comes to the rainy season, you would have had something in store for you. I have never bought anything that we can produce until I finished high school. It was when I came to Banjul that I've seen oranges, mangoes, and other things being sold. Because where I grew up, it's free.
It's there,
You come, you just harvest what you need and go with it. But not anymore. So what has changed? You cannot tell me it's development. It's attitude. A lot of us who grew up in such a society have abandoned it. Why? Yet we complain about the prices of commodity. Yes, we complain about scarcity of some of these things. That definitely you can just have a tree, just one, in your house. Because you know you need it. For the oxygen, that's what we breathe, and also for food security and food self-sufficiency. So it's all about mindset.
So what fruits do you grow on your patch of land?
Right.
We're watching on the screen here.
Yes, okay. To be honest with you, cashew trees, we planted them when we were younger. So if you come to our community, you have a lot of cashew trees. In fact, a lot of people even developed that idea of having these cashew farms from our community. Of course, we also got it from other communities in South and other areas. But in the earlier days, in the 80s and 90s, you'll only find cashew trees around our community. Right? Now, apart from the traditional fruit trees of cashew, mangoes, oranges, we've got passion fruit. In fact, a friend of mine in Zanzibar, Chano Obar Kebe, that is Gajaga's uncle, was surprised that there were passion fruit in the Gambia. I said yes. Passion fruit planted in the house. We have, of course, we also have pear, avocado, also in the house, right? So we have about over 200 different types of, well, 200 trees, but about 25 different types.
Okay, wow.
Right? Even this dahar, the one you normally use for, we have it in the house. Bitter leaf, it's in the house. So anything we believe we would need, it's actually in the house. Why? Because once we have it, we don't need to go and source it elsewhere. And because we don't go, if you are the only one who goes to buy, the price of that commodity will come down. The price of demand and supply. If more people are interested in something, the price will go up. If less people are, the price will come down. So I'm helping to bring down the price of commodities by actually making sure that I have my own backyard farm, my backyard garden. I'm not the only one. There are many other people doing that.
I was going to say, whether you're aware, but you've just answered the question.
There are many. I know
of others who are doing similar things.
I know a lot of them. In fact, Santa's Farm, Sang Mendy of the Media Academy, is one of those people who even definitely encouraged me to even grow some of these exotic fruits that we thought don't grow here. He has, you go to his own farm, you have pineapple, you have berries, you name it.
He has a lot,
Yes, you need to invite him here. So he's not the only one. Another one is actually in Jambanjeli. Sang's own is Banyaka. In Jambanjeli, Famarabaji. You go to him to the same thing. Even some of these fruits, well, not fruit trees, some of these trees we use for other needs, construction, malina and so on. You can as well have them. We can have tree farms, not just fruit tree farms. Tree farms, because you need trees, you need wood for other things.
Yeah, of course.
So these are things we should be thinking about. Yes, we may not be able to address the global challenges of climate change because we are not actually the main cause of it.
No,
it's industries. It is factories. We don't have them.
So
but we can actually mitigate by ensuring that we work on the food supply chain by planting fruit trees and also trees that we would need for our own use, whether it's in construction, whether actually it's in, how do you call it, even the charcoal. You can grow trees, like cashew trees. If we trim them in the house, the branches could be used to actually get charcoal. And that helps you also with your cooking. The firewood from the branches that are chopped, you could use it for firewood. So you can as well plant more trees in your house and make sure that you maybe dedicate one specifically for use.
But
so
what does it take to have initiatives like the one that you have?
It's a mindset. I didn't just get up from anywhere to do it. It's because I'm part of the environment. I'm a product of the environment. I love the environment. And I know the values and the benefits therein. I just took action. And it is from where we have an academy, SEEDS. Now, SEEDS is an acronym. And that's what people do not know. Stands for Sports, Education, Environment, Diversity, and Service. So the environmental aspect of it does not only have to do with waste management, but also tree planting. And we make sure that every child in the academy plants a tree at least on their birthday. So on every memorable day, you must plant a tree. If you remember a loved one, friend, or what, you plant a tree on their behalf. So most of the proceeds you have seen, the produce you've seen, were planted on the 1st of January, the 18th of January, sorry, the 1st of January, 18th of February, right? The 1st of March, we call it, you start marching in March. Then you have actually also on May Day, the 1st of May. And then on the 26th of December. So each of these have some meaning to us. Right? Now, but on the birthday of each child, what I donate to a child is a tree to make sure they plant it, and I will always monitor and supervise that it's actually taken care of. So if we each plant our own trees on our birthday, one day or the other, you'll always remember, because that tree will always be there and somebody will benefit from it.
For asking from a layman perspective, isn't it late considering how the structure is in the greater Banjul area, how buildings or homes are constructed and all of that tells them. Isn't it too late to embrace initiatives like yours?
It's never late.
I know for the rural Gambia, yeah.
Even within your space here, you can grow strawberries. We have flower vases everywhere. That flower vase you have in your house, you can have a strawberry plant there, and you will be harvesting it. There are trees that will grow indoors and trees that will grow outdoors. You have corridor farms as well. Sanctus, if you go to Sank's own farm in his place in Bakau, he has them under the corridor. So instead of having flowers only in your house, think of some of these fruit trees.
And also, I think one of the things, if you buy a plot and you said, I'm going to build here,
right,
rather than paving it over.
Thank you.
Yes, tiles.
You know, all that tile stuff. Plant some trees
exactly.
instead. You know, and it's a fight that I was having with my own builder.
Thank
because
you.
they wanted to put concrete the whole day. I said, no, I want fruit trees.
Exactly.
You know, so.
No, seriously. And in fact, what pains me most is you will see these real estate developers. They will go and actually secure a vast land full of trees. Give it a month, all those trees are gone. Leveled. As if the trees are not needed in construction. So I cannot understand, and that is why I wish the minister were here. There should be a regulation that anybody who buys a plot of land should indicate the number of trees they found there. Fine, you may decide to maybe take away one because you want to construct a house, but replace it. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem.
In fact, it could be a selling point. Yes. Because if you have trees there, you can say to every person that every house we build, there'll be a tree in that in that compound.
Yes.
And for some people, that's actually a selling point because they feel that they're somehow contributing to not kind of getting rid of...
You need a tree for oxygen. You need it for oxygen. And guess what? Our wild fruits are going. Our wild fruits, because most of these people who are into real estate go into forest where these wild fruits are. They are all going. And these wild fruits were very good for us in terms of actually immunity. We may not know it, but the fruits you eat give you immunity. You know, unfortunately, some people, because of their lack of awareness of the environment, those are the first things they will take care of. And now you go to the market, you look for some of them, you don't even see them. And even if you see them, they're even expensive to buy. And what is the comment coming from people? Even these local things now are even more expensive than the ones we import. Yes, they will be more expensive because the demand for them is higher. So the ones you import, because there are so many there in the market, you'll definitely, maybe not many people are going for them like bananas and so on. So the cost of it actually will come down in some other areas. So these are things we should be thinking about. You have a tap in your house. Water is always running all the time. That place is always getting wet. What stops you from planting that tree, a tree near that tap, so that that water is not wasted? And that plant will constantly get water, and you will definitely get fruits out of it. That is something we should be thinking about.
So another challenge that a lot of people, or most people that I talk to, raise the issue of seeds, like having quality seedlings to actually venture in these things. Are you also considering, as part of this initiative, to actually venture into seedlings or seeds to be able to help people have the quality seeds? Because I believe it's a problem here.
Quality seeds could be a problem, granted. Yes. But it is about caring and definitely ensuring that you nurse, nurture, and nourish that plant. Are you with me? If you are not well fed, you'll be malnourished. You'll be famished. The same thing with a plant. So you may have quality seed, and the seedling you would receive from me would be great. But if we don't take care of it, give it a month, it's gone. So it needs care. It needs care. I don't dispute the fact that the quality of the seed determines, of course, the the quality of the plant also. But it's about care. Just water it, manure it, take care of it. With time, it will actually give you the fruit you need. In fact, the fruiting of some trees depends on the care of that tree. You may have a tree, and I have a tree from the same time maybe we plant. But because I've taken care of mine, it may fruit within a year, when yours will take 2-3 years before it fruits. It's the same thing. So it's all about us and our attitude towards the environment, and thinking that the environment is the responsibility of, let's say, the government or those actually in the business of the environment. But we are products of the environment, and we should ensure that the issue of the environment is our own concern. Pollution is rife everywhere as a result of what? waste disposal, lack of waste management. It's affecting us. The tambana that people hear about is in our backyard. When the fire is put there, the smoke that comes, thanks to the trees, does not affect us that much. Because, the trees would have actually stopped. But then, the communities that are ahead of us, the smoke will go up. And before you know it, it lands somewhere where actually the cause is different from the effect.
That's right.
And that also affects our respiratory system.
That's the problem with climate change.
So that's the thing. So you who does not cause it end up actually being affected as a result of that.
That's right.
So I think really it's the business. My challenge to everyone is, on your birthday, please, instead of going to buy that birthday cake, go and plant a tree. Please. On the birthday of a family friend or loved one, instead of actually sending them money, please urge them to plant a tree on your behalf. Before you know it, if we are 2 million people in this country, and we each plant a tree on our birthday, every year, we are assured of 2 million trees.
Of course.
That's right.
In 10 years, how many trees are we talking about?
That's a lot.
So it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. In institutions, in organizations, each staff ensuring that they have a tree in the office or in their homes, it will go a great deal. It's all about us changing our mindset and stop complaining about this not being right, that not being right, the cost of this is going up. It's a choice.
Yeah, it is a
Plant
choice.
a tree and the cost of these produce
will
definitely
and
come
save a life.
I don't have need to go and buy anything.
Thank you.
Thank
that
you.
was really interesting conversation, and I think it should continue, Mr. Ade.
And we hope you've inspired other people as well.
Yes,
well,
I am inspired.
I've been inspired by others, and I trust that others
coming.
definitely will pick it up and do better than us.
Thank
It's not a competition.
Yes.
We are not in the business of competition when it comes to the environment and its promotion.
That's right.
It's an issue of collaboration and ensuring that we take action.
That's
From
right.
advocacy to action.
Thank
and
you.
we believe in going green with the Go Green generation.
Thank
it
you.
should be our generation.
Thank you very much for coming. Viewers, Mr. Ade, this is all we have time for.
Yes.
Until we come your way tomorrow for another edition of QTV This Morning, it's a bye from us and enjoy.